families, Miss McDonald and Miss Roper here. We just thought we would introduce our topic for this half term. So it's called Frozen Kingdom. So as you can imagine, this is all about the Antarctic and Arctic circles. So in geography, we will be comparing the two, so that's geographically, and we'll be looking at all the invisible lines that take up our Earth, including the equator. Then we'll be swiftly moving on to science, where we will be looking at adaptation. So that will be through animals, what adaptations have they got to survive in their habitats, for example. So that could be something related to their fur, their skin, how are they able to get their foods. Obviously, there's a lot of snow and ice over in the Arctic Circle, so what features have they got that will help them dig for food, for example. We'll also be having a look at inheritance. So this is all the different characteristics that animals or humans might have, for example, from their parents. So, you know, if a parent has got blonde hair, does this child have blonde hair? So it'll be going into all the DNA that might lead offspring to have that characteristic.
For Spanish this half term, the children will be looking at directions. So by the end of the unit, children will be able to have discussions between each other in Spanish, giving each other solid directions, and this will build on from our previous learning of places in town. So hopefully the children will be able to give directions to different places. Additionally, in PE this half term, we will be looking at basketball and gymnastics. So basketball will be with Miss Davis and Mr Such, and gymnastics with myself and Miss McDonald. For DT, the children will be becoming programming pioneers. In this unit, we will be exploring computer-controlled systems. The children will eventually plan their own computer-controlled system, and they will be creating models out of cardboard to demonstrate these. They're also labelling them and giving each other feedback on their work. If you could keep your eyes peeled on Seesaw to see if we put out any notices, because we may require some recycling, some cardboard for this activity. Thank you.
Thank you.
So this half term in English, our topic is Frozen Kingdom. So we will be moving on to doing our English related to this theme. So this will include us first of all looking at Shackleton's journey. So this will be all about Ernest Shackleton, who is an explorer who went on an amazing voyage across the Antarctic. So it would be great if at home your children can start researching about him, so that when they come to write in a report with us, they have a bit more information. So one of our main focuses for this half term is going to be non-fiction features. So the children are going to be creating a report with lots of factual information, their research that hopefully they've completed at home and a little bit in school. And we are going to be aiming to include the following things. So headings, subheadings, bullet points, photos and captions. Now, what we always say with regards to bullet points is that consistency with capitalising. If you've capitalised one, then capitalise them all. And it will just be about those organisational devices of how they've set that information out to get it across informatively to the reader. We will also be looking at the Titanic. So that will hopefully be another topic for non-fiction, including all of these features, as well as looking at things like direct speech, which is quoting what people have directly said, and also indirect speech, such as reported speech, where you're stating or summarising what somebody has said. So we'll be doing that within our reports as well. And so another thing you could do at home is to look at newspapers together, see if you can identify different features of a newspaper, what they usually look like, and have that conversation with your children. So it is non-fiction November, hence we've got lots of non-fiction texts and things that we're going to be looking at. And again, we will just be continuing to revisit those SAT skills that we'll be practicing for reading. Our main ones will be retrieval, inference, and then vocab work, where we'll be looking at extending our repertoire of words. Thank you very much.
Hi Griffin families, Miss McDonald here. I'm just going to go through what the children will be doing in maths this half term. So we'll be starting off looking at fractions. So fractions is quite a heavy topic in year 6. We spend a lot of time looking at simplifying, comparing, ordering our fractions. We then move on to adding and subtracting fractions, where we then go to divide, which will be dividing by whole numbers, and then we multiply fractions with each other. I'm going to start by going through how to add fractions, so hopefully you can help children at home with than when it comes to doing extra work or homework. So here I've got 3 6 add 7 eighths. Okay, so to be able to add fractions, we need to make sure we have the same denominator. So denominator is this number at the bottom and the numerator is the number on the top. So the easiest way to get the same denominator is to just multiply our denominators together. So 6 times 8 is 48. But then we need to make sure we are doing whatever we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. So that's the number one rule with fractions. You cannot do anything to the numerator or the denominator without doing it to the other. So 6 to get to 48, I have multiplied it by 8. So then I need to multiply my 3 by 8, which is 24. Then 8 to get to 48, I've multiplied it by 6. So then I need to multiply my 7 by 6, which is 42. And then I just need to simply add my numerators together. So 24 add 42 is 66 over 48. So my answer is 66 over 48. We do encourage the children not to leave our fraction as an improper fraction. So that refers to when the number on the top is bigger than the number on the bottom. During SAT, so when the SATs marker looks at a SATs paper, the children might lose a mark for not putting it in a mixed number. So we need to look at how many times does 48 go into 66. That is 1 full time. And then we need to work out what is left. Some children might be able to naturally do this in their head, but if not, they just simply do the column subtraction that we taught and learned last half term. So 6 take away 8, they cannot do. So that comes 16. 16 take away 8 is 8. 5 take away 4 is 1, that is 18. So my answer is 1 and 18 over 48. Again, with fractions, you know, children might be encouraged to simplify it because we are learning that this half term. So we look to see if we can simplify 18 over 48. So you do this by looking to see if any number goes into 18 and 48. So, for example, looking at this, I know that 6 goes into both numbers. So I have got to divide both by 6. So then I end up with 1 whole 3 over 8. And that is my answer in its simplest form. Thank you.